Hello and welcome to another HanDrinksSoloWine info video, and today I'm super excited to be able to share with you the Ghost in the Machine Shiraz 2020 made by Bruce Jack Wines. This wine was the very tippy top highest scoring Shiraz in the entire Investec Trophy Wine Show for 2022. Now, a little bit about the Ghost in the Machine range. Even if you've never tasted the wines before, you will have no doubt seen the exquisite bottles lining the shelves, and really each bottle looks like it took a ridiculous amount of work to make it look that good, and that's mostly because it really did. Each bottle has not one, but two labels that are applied on top of one another in order to create quite a stunning visual effect as layered as the wine itself. This wasn't just a case of highfalutin design self-indulgence at the expense of practicality. Rather, it was an explicit creative process, rather painstaking I might add, designed deliberately to express exactly what the Ghost in the Machine range stands for. And that is human creativity and ingenuity in the face of artificial intelligence and efficiencies at all costs and the tidal wave of technology, as Bruce Jack likes to put it. The whole point of the bottle is that it is meant to look handcrafted because these wines are meant to express the human element rather than, say, the advance of technology in modern life. But then I also have to address those wine lovers who often get suspicious when a bottle looks too good, then they feel like perhaps the producer is compensating for something. Why would they spend so much time on a label? It's obviously to cover up for the inferior contents. Well, luckily, you all have a bottle, so you can open it and put that theory to the test. Now, before we get into the wine, it's worth noting that this is 85% Shiraz and 15% Grenache Noir. This is very helpful to note when you're smelling stuff that perhaps doesn't make sense to you. For example, when we smell this guy, it has the most exquisite notes of violets and lavender, and then there's deeper elements of cedar wood and tilled earth and even blackberry fruit, fresh blackberries. All of this would sit quite comfortably in a 100% Shiraz. So there's no controversy there, but there is also some other stuff going on. As I sniffed a little more, I discovered some really interesting kind of strawberry notes and even a delightful citric kind of blood orange element in there, which, to be honest, was a little puzzling. It was delightful, but puzzling, until I went and had a look at the technical details. Seeing that the Grenache Noir is in there made a little more sense, because Grenache Noir can deliver that incredible kind of citrus element if harvesting is done at the right time and it's treated the right way in the cellar. And speaking of treatment in the cellar, this 15% Grenache is fermented via carbonic maceration, which brings a whole nother range of chemicals, aromas, and flavors. There is a video, which I've left the link to in the side, that will tell you more about the chemical side of carbonic maceration if you want to get into that. But for now, it helps me understand why these incredible, almost candy-like strawberry notes and citrus are popping up in what I thought was a Shiraz. And perhaps one final element that we might want to explain is just the presence of this really pristine, quite pronounced red berry acid. I mentioned strawberries earlier, but this is brighter. This is a kind of sour cherry, hint of raspberry sherbet perhaps, cherry fizz pop candy going on. And this is partly a result of ripeness, but I also think this can be explained by the fact that the fruit comes from the Drift Estate, which is in the Overberg, halfway up the mountain, so some decent altitude, and also from Walker Bay. Now, Walker Bay is a region down on the coast of South Africa. In fact, it's the region that probably has the most direct ocean influence of all the growing regions, and it also happens to be naturally quite cool. Finally, it has diurnal range that can reach up to 12 degrees between day and night, which is really quite pronounced for the Cape Winelands. All reasons why the components in this wine would deliver bright, high acid and some really pronounced aromatics. Really, the experience of drinking this wine is kind of like the first time you watch Christopher Nolan's Tenet, right? You end up being puzzled and perplexed and asking what the hell just happened to me. But the more you think about it, the more brilliant it becomes. Okay, so that's all we have time for today. But if you're watching this on YouTube, why not subscribe to the HanDrink Solo channel so that I can keep you up to date with the 6 wine videos I publish each month. Not to mention the fact that we cover unusual cultivars, elements of wine science, viticulture, rising winemaking stars, and wines coming out of unusual regions in the dynamic South African winelands. Of course, if you haven't signed up for your HanDrink Solo subscription, then you're probably missing out on getting to taste what we're talking about now. So your first step is to hit www.handrinksolo.com and get yourself your own wine subscription with a monthly case of incredible wines that illustrate all the fascinating points I'm making in this video now. Cheers.